The RTS Tactical Sleek 2.0 is marketed as a lightweight, low-profile carrier designed for rapid deployment and discreet use in both law enforcement and civilian contexts. With a strong emphasis on sleek, this carrier also presents a compelling option for competitive shooters who need gear that won't slow them down or get in the way. Full disclosure, RTS Tactical sent me this kit for full testing and evaluation. There's no compensation tied to this review, but if you'd like to support what we're doing with Action Gunner, you can use the affiliate links in the description below. Over the last few months, I've tested the Sleek 2.0 during physical training, two-gun matches, and most recently at a skirmish-level tactical games event. But before we dive into how it performed, let's talk about my first impressions with the design and build quality. First off, the materials are lightweight, but they don't feel cheap. Stitching is clean and consistent all the way across the carrier. The material is some sort of ripstop, and it's durable while not being overly bulky. The front of the carrier is completely slick, as you'll notice, also in the name, sleek. With no snag points or clutter. On the inside, you get expanded foam mesh liner that actually helps with breathability and comfort, especially when you get your heart rate up during training or matches. The carrier fits standard 10x12 SAPI plates, steel, ceramic, or even training inserts from Jacked Rabbit plates, though you might notice a bit of play when you go with that option. Swapping plates is simple and straightforward. The bottom axis is fast thanks to the stitched in tabs, and it's pretty secure because there's loop all the way across. For my testing purposes, I'm using the level 3 plus plates that RTS includes in their active shooter response kit. The shoulder straps are quick to adjust and include removable padding with that same expanded foam on the inside. The padding adds a good bit of comfort, especially if you're wearing this for long durations. But there is a trade-off, as the thickness can interfere with your rifle stock placement, especially when shooting from less stable or compromised positions with VTAC barricades, low ports, etc. You can remove the padding for better cheek weld and rifle fit, but you're going to lose a good bit of comfort in doing so. The inner straps are more of like a seatbelt material, and they will start to dig into your neck a little bit from what I found. All in all, once adjusted, the shoulder fit is secure with a solid range of motion with the included plates. The elastic cummerbund is a much welcomed highlight. It stays tight without making it hard to breathe, which is exactly what you want for competition or high output movement. Each side includes 2 built-in mag pouches. They hold AR mags just fine, they're nice and tight, and 1 pocket per side can also accommodate 2 pistol mags. Now, being a right-handed shooter, I did find placing mags on the right-hand side, it's a little bit awkward to get to, but it's still manageable, especially if you want to get stuff off your belt and have it up on your carrier. This setup helped me carry a full 4 to 5 magazine loadout across both the belt and carrier, which was useful when stage planning or a loadout required it. Now let's talk about the slick front. This design made axle bar cleans, front rack carries, and sled drags way smoother. Nothing snagged, nothing to get caught on edges. It stayed completely out of the way as far as those movements were concerned. The trade-off, instead of loop material for placards or pouches, you get PVC pull tabs for quick release, which makes sense for rapid deployment setups, but it limits modularity. Personally, I'd love to see a loop face version in the future, just to open up more mounting options. Moving on to field use. Running with this carrier, there's no bouncing, no shifting. Breathing stayed unrestricted for me, even when pushing pace between positions. I found this to be one of the more comfortable plate carriers for a long movement or ruck. There was no chafing or rubbing your back to a bloody mess, which I think is largely in part due to the expanded foam mesh keeping the plates off your body. Axle bar and front rack movements were unimpeded. Sled straps, which have a tendency to get hung up on mag pouches that are on the front, they had nothing to get tangled up on with this setup. Now onto the gun. My stock placement needed some adjustment using this carrier. My cheek weld was occasionally off depending on my angle and where the padding sat on the shoulder straps. Removing the pads helped, but again, at the cost of a good bit of comfort. So what I instead did was I just shifted a little bit, and I was able to pull my stock in to get into those positions a little bit better with the rifle. What really stood out with this carrier was the mesh lining and elastic cummerbund combination. It made it one of the more comfortable carriers I've ever worn. The slick profile helped during both physical movements and stage transitions, and the built-in mag storage was honestly a huge benefit for planning around mag-heavy matches or stages. So who is this carrier for? Well, if you're shooting the tactical games and you need to meet the 15-pound requirement, this carrier with a little bit of added weight works great. It's also a strong choice for two-gun in minimalist training environments where you want your gear to stay out of your way, but you still need it with you. What it's not built for is full MOLLE setups, radio rigs, hydration packs, people needing side plates or modular pouches. It's just not built for that. This carrier was clearly made for quick response and discreet deployment. It's a great grab-and-go option for keeping in a vehicle or low-profile loadout. Though not completely invisible, you could even wear it under a jacket if needed. It lacks some modularity, sure, but in the role it was designed for, I wouldn't hesitate to use it in competition or in real-world training if that's your jam. If you found this review helpful, do me a favor and hit subscribe. We've got more content coming on competition shooting, gear breakdowns, and real-world performance reviews. And as always, check out actiongunner.com for more competitive shooting resources.